JoeTownville.com. JoeTownville.com.
Well, hello, and welcome to the big old show, Retro Trekkers. I'm your old buddy, Captain John, one of the worst people to ever use the name Captain, so I use Captain, because, I don't want to insult anybody. Time for Retro Trekkers. Let's get this going. Oh, we love our Star Treks. The nerd muscles get to flex. Welcome to Retro Trekkers, a show where we have chosen an episode of Star Trek. We are going to recap it and review it and have a ball. And feel free to join us in the chat. We have Lieutenant Bach and, of course, Ensign, and he will always be an Ensign Rosario. It's a lot of fun. If you ever want to see the show live, that is a great decision. Join us live. You're going to have a lot of fun, like Rolf and Chris do. And they add so much to the show. We would love for you to do that as well. When I say we, I'm not just talking about me and Klaus the Mouse. I am talking about the staff here at SB 80, voted once again the ricketiest of all star bases. And my second in command, man who's been keeping me going for years. Oh, Lord, I don't even want to think where I'd be without him. Folks, do you know Commander Joe Townsville? Oh, Commander.
Well, hello, Captain. You must remember this.
Oh.
It was I who gave you a promotion about a year ago by adding one letter to your rank. I gave you the T. Maybe someday you'll earn the A and the I as well.
AI. Always
AI.
the problem. Always the problem. It's not just us. We also have one of the hardest working men in the Federation down in the below decks, hammering away at the rusty machinery. Do you know Chief Pettiness Officer Eric Kramer? CPO Kramer, how are you, sir?
Oh, God damn it. It's been a day, guys. Ensign Rogers been sniffing the dilithium again and like going off on these tangents. But can I just say, first of all, I'm a little pissed off that the mouse gets bridge access, but I don't. But Ensign Rogers brings up a good point. How come you can't text on these things?
Oh, that is a very good question.
That's quite an oversight.
Like what?
I think they disabled the texting. That's what I think. There was like too many text chains going on and they just disabled it. That's very Federation. I'm sorry.
Whatever. Are we doing a show?
Yeah, why not?
Let's do the damn show, shall we? I do like how Kramer.
Man, you know how hot it gets down here? Good God, man.
All right. Let's talk about it. The genesis of tonight's episode. Did I have? Well, I mean, it doesn't matter if I have it because I don't have it.
You're in it now. Can't roll back the segue title.
No, can't. There is a great episode that we're doing this week. It is from, hang on, let me pull it up. It is from Deep Space Nine, my personal favorite of all the Star Treks. This one originally aired in March of 1994. Oh boy, that was a little while ago.
It was.
The hell?
I remember it like it was yesterday. Honestly.
My God.
How
old am I?
This episode is from the second season. It is the 18th episode of that 26 episode season. It is, of course, called Profit and Loss. There might be a slight similarity to the movie Casablanca. I don't know. We'll see. I think we'll find out in the beats whether or not there's anything related to Casablanca in it. This episode was written by a writing team that only wrote one episode of Star Trek that I know of, and that was Flip Kobler and Cindy Marcus. They were actually a couple. They have a child together. They were a romantic couple, and they wrote this episode. And one of the things that this writing team has done a lot is write like the Christmas episode of Disney's Aladdin.
Oh.
Like DVDs of, sequels to like the Tarzan adaptation, like things like that. They've written a lot of those things. But we'll talk about whether or not they did a good job on this. This episode, Profit and Loss, was directed by Robert Weimer. I'm going to say it was Weimer. I don't know if it's Weimer, but I'm going to say Weimer. And Robert Weimer had done, previously, he'd done 7 episodes of Star Trek The Next Generation. And was very much into the franchise, like really good at portraying the franchise. And again, I say this one was from the second season. So a lot of things in the second season of a TV show. Let me ask you about this, Mr. Kramer, because you've been on the second season of a few TV shows in your day. What kind of footing do you have in the second season as opposed to what you have in the first season?
By footing, you mean by what? By footing, you mean what?
How confident are you? How settled are you? How much do you know about the show? And
well, there's two, like all shows, right? There's 2 ways that they go in a second season. They either find themselves and take off, or if they've had or sometimes, if they have a really successful first season, they get a little full of themselves and, overplay their hand a little bit in second season. But this feels like this one feels like they're exploring and having fun and giving everybody something good to do.
Yeah, there's I feel like there was a lot of confidence in this episode. And there are different.
Look at the actors you have in this.
You got some great actors.
The actors you have in this series. I mean, come on,
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Well, we've often heard the term sophomore season, and I think in a good way, because again, as both you gentlemen pointed out, we're over our first season awkwardness and trying to find ourselves and starting to get, as you put it, John, a little bit of a footing, both with
getting your
cast and creators and so forth.
Yeah. Let's jump in and get an idea of what's going on with this. Time for the beat. That's the beat. I have zero chill when it comes to the beats. I always get way too excited for the beats. So here we go.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Let's go to Joe Townsend's beats and get an idea of what's going on in this episode, Profit and Loss from Deep Space Nine.
It's on its way.
Oh, we got a dog down here. In case you didn't hear, we got a dog. We picked one up on Rigel. Sorry, we should have told you. Oh, I realized there was protocol, but
is he one of those little dogs with the horn?
Yeah. Yeah,
My
super cute.
favorite.
Super
Well,
cute.
perfect, because spoiler, we're gonna maybe see a little bit of that next week.
Well, we want to get another one and race them for money down here.
Oh, I would love that. Oh my God. That would be the best. All right, here we go. Start the beats. I'm telling myself.
You've got your taxes done. Your refund is on its way. Now it's Romulan ale time. And hey, how about a little espionage, dissidence, romance, and Quark? Well, you've come to the right place, and we're not talking about Rick's Cafe. Retro Trekkers bring you Profit and Loss from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. A damaged Cardassian ship putters toward Deep Space Nine. On board are 3 occupants, Natima Lang and her students, Rekelin and Hogue. Hey, we got caught up in an asteroid film or something. In fact, we may have spotted the Millennium Falcon and some giant space slug in there. Anyways, can Chief O'Brien fix our ship? We'd take it to the shuttle dealership, but they're so darned expensive. Meanwhile, on the promenade, Odo still can't get over the dirty dealings at the Dabo tables at Quark's. I'm shocked. Shocked to find that gambling is going on in here. And with half-naked Dabo girls, no less. The constable doesn't get his jollies with these trivial pursuits after all. Instead, he enjoys persecuting, and sometimes even prosecuting, poor Quark. Rumor has it that Quark has an illegal cloaking device hidden somewhere. As the 3 Cardassians stroll the promenade, Quark sees the beautiful Natima and is smitten. Of all the Romulan ale joints on all the space stations in the Alpha Quadrant, she walks into mine. He rushes right over to greet the lovely Cardassian, who turns out to be an old flame. She naturally responds by slapping him silly. Aha, but Quark digs it. Hey! Our charismatic Ferengi has done the deed with hot Cardassian and Klingon babes, and will be sealing the deal with a sexy Vulcan in a couple more episodes.
Ooh.
You know, Riker could take some lessons from Quark. So Natima and Quark have been around the block together a time or two. Quark wants to reignite that old spark. Is it time to resume that beautiful friendship? Well, we'll see. Sisko is moonlighting, playing the piano for patrons of the food court while they enjoy lunch. Quark is enjoying Benjamin's tickling of the ivory, as it makes him think fondly of Natima. The reflective Ferengi requests an encore. Play it again, Sisko. Well, I'll get around to it, as time goes by. But first, put some gold-pressed latinum in my Saurian brandy snifter. Well, just kidding on that last scene, folks, but the Doctor is at the Replomat having lunch with Garrick. The inquisitive Doctor is trying to figure out if the smart-ass Cardassian is really a tinkering tailor or a soldiering spy. As Bashir leaves, he spots Natima and her students, and smiles at the comely Cardassian lady. They see Garrick and flip out, not knowing there was other Cardassians on the station. The apprehension felt by the 3 visiting Cardassians is soon made clear. They stroll casually into ops. They reveal that their ship wasn't damaged by any random meteor storm. Rather, it was attacked by another Cardassian ship. It turns out the 3 Cardassians are fugitives sought by the government for trying to start a revolution against the military rule over their once peaceful world. Great, just what we need. Quark pays a visit to Garrick at his tailor shop. Gaylor implies heavily that Natima might come to harm while wearing a diabolically sewn garment. This makes Quark nervous, but promises to retaliate with jury-rigged Dabo tables. What? Confusing even himself, Quark goes to Natima's guest quarters, hat in hand, heart on his sleeve. She tells him the feeling is not mutual, and he leaves, tail between his legs. The tension mounts when a Cardassian warship shows up at the station, weapons at the ready. Garrick strolls into ops. Did you ever notice just how easy it is to casually go to the bridge of a ship or ops on a space station? Oh well. Garrick has contacted Cardassia Central Command. Unsurprisingly, they want Natima's students. Cisco warns the Cardassians perched off the upper pylon that any show of force against the station will be returned in kind. Quark, still trying to regain favor with Natima, offers Reckland and Hogue his ill-gotten cloaking device so they can escape the Cardassian warship, but he'll only give it to them if Natima agrees to stay with him. Oh, that figures. Quark always has an ulterior motive. When you look up the words selfless or charitable in the dictionary, Quark's picture is not next to them. Back in Natima's quarters, she pleads with Quark for the cloaking device. Again, he refuses to hand it over unless she stays. The problems of 3 little Cardassians don't amount to a hill of beans compared to my need for Umox. She grabs a phaser and takes aim. Boy, this causes some major deja vu for that time when she was living in Dallas, having an affair with an oil tycoon. In his attempt to disarm her, Quark accidentally gets shot. Oopsie. But it's all good fun between the former and possibly future lovers. After some sweet talk about smearing some alien honey on her face, Natima agrees to stay with Quark. So all seems well and good. That is until Odo enters and arrests Natima. It's time for Odo to round up the usual suspects, namely the questionable guest stars of any episode. Both he and Cisco are sorry to apprehend the trio, but their hands are tied. And the Bajorans aren't much help either. The provisional government has agreed to hand the 3 fugitives over to Cardassia in exchange to 6 Bajoran captives. But fear not. Other plans are in motion, and other plot developments are afoot. In his tailor shop, Garak is visited by an old rival, Torin. His old buddy has become a gull, while Garak himself has been hemming slacks in exile on DS9. Man, one thing's for sure, this plot continues to thicken. Maybe too much. It's getting mighty difficult keeping up with the Cardassians. Sorry, you know we had to go there. Anyway, Torin tells Garak that the Cardassian government wants Natima and her students dead. So, here's the deal, Garak. If you kill them, we'll let you come home. That's the deal. Take it or leave it. Quark interrupts Odo reading Mickey Spillane's I, the Jury. Interesting choice of literature for the changeling constable. He must be getting some hard-boiled detective tips. And he also has a sudden urge to watch Humphrey Bogart in the Millennium Falcon. Humphrey Bogart in the Maltese Falcon. Now it's Quark's turn to plead for the fate of the Cardassian visitors. Please, good buddy Odo, release my Cardassian friends. Well, the changeling admits that he does not believe Natima and her students deserve a death sentence. Of course, the Cardassian court system being what it is, the trio of fugitives will most likely find themselves at the receiving end of the executioner's axe. Believing more in justice than denying Quark, Odo agrees to release the Cardassian prisoners. Quark is elated and very grateful to Odo. This is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. Well, that might be stretching it a bit. Quark escorts the Cardassians to their ship. But Garak is waiting at the docking port. Both are armed with disruptors. Is it going to be a shootout at the DS9 corral? Nope. Garak disarms the Ferengi easily. Quark pleads again. Take the students, but leave Natima with me. All looks dire and the situation is grim. But then, surprise, surprise, Torin shows up. The Go is just using Garak to lead the dissidents into a trap. Those crafty Cardassians. Taking Garak's gun, he informs them he's going to kill everyone. No muss, no fuss. Well, that is until Garak whips out Quark's disruptor and vaporizes Torin. Looks like there will be no deal with the beguiling gull after all. Garak cuts his losses and allows the dissidents to leave with their lives. Quark tries one last time to convince Natima to stay. But, sticking to her ethics, Natima is more determined than ever to focus on her political work over her personal happiness. Quark takes it in stride. Well, here's looking at you, kid. So, having given it his best shot, the Ferengi bids his Cardassian cutie a bittersweet farewell. She and her students leave the station, and Quark reminisces about old times. We'll always have Terok Nor. There you go. Uh-oh. John, we can't hear you. You're muted.
Well, I cannot imagine all the genius you just missed by me.
I know, I feel deprived now.
I muted my mic because I blew my nose earlier and I was trying to spare you. Oh my God. What an unusual episode to do in the second season. I'm just going to lead with that. And here's why. Because normally I would say and now, this is because there were so many Star Trek series that went to 7 seasons. And hindsight is 2020. And here I am going, wow, you kind of did like a satire, kind of a parody episode in the second season. Usually you find these unusual kind of episodes in the early series. You'll find them in season 4, season 6, season 7. Did this story seem unusual to either of you? Let's start with you, Mr. Kramer. Is it unusual that we get this kind of satire of Casablanca, a classic film, in season 2, about midway in, as a matter of fact?
Well, why don't you ask the mouse his opinion, because you seem to value him a lot more than me, who keeps your damn ship running. Okay, second season, but really they're already 44 episodes in?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point.
I mean, it's not like it's not like now where it's 10, maybe 12 seasons.
Right.
I mean, you're 44 episodes in. You've established a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I think you absolutely have liberty to have a little fun, and but also within this kind of satire, there's some real information handed out.
Well, that's a good
right?
point. Yeah.
I mean, they do move, the Deep Space Nine story itself along in this. There are reveals about characters and everything else, and you sort of forget, like, maybe it's satire, maybe it's sent up a little bit, but you don't really feel that during the course of the episode. Like at the end you sort of go, oh, they did a thing,
they're hitting it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
but otherwise there's this otherwise Quark gets a love story.
Joe Townsend, you being a novelist and a storyteller yourself, how do you feel about the storytelling here?
Totally agree with Eric. I mean, we're not too early to do different types of things. I mean, there are some characterizations that have yet to be developed, touched upon, but one thing I do appreciate about this episode is that it is the first, I believe, to establish that there is a dissident movement within the Cardassian Empire.
Oh, good point.
Which, of course, will be a much very important thing in the coming seasons with the Dominion War and so forth.
Yeah.
Our first mention, also a little bit of tidbit territory here, but first mention about Cardassian Central Command. So we're setting some groundwork for the Cardassian Empire generally through these characters. I did feel that there might have been kind of a last minute addition by the writers for Quark, because aside from a couple of instances where he's really just an ass, which is what we come to expect from Quark,
right,
he's pretty noble in this episode. So it's almost like they threw those things in to say, okay, let's add some of that edge back in. Maybe it's a little bit too much of a departure.
That was really interesting, and that does come up later. But I absolutely must agree with both of you that we learn a lot more about what's going on Cardassia. We learn a lot more about what's going on with Garrick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of a big reveal, right?
It is.
I mean, look, I'm not Deep Space Nine was never my thing, so I'm not too entrenched in the lore or the story, but it felt like a big deal when it was revealed.
Yeah. It's something they've been teasing us with, especially in the relationship with Dr. Bashir and Garrick the tailor. Please, I'm just a simple tailor. It's like Garrick imitates.
God, I love Andrew Robbins.
I mean, he was there before now.
Oh, great! I just love him as an actor.
Let's talk about Andrew Robinson. He is not a newcomer to acting. I can't remember which Dirty Harry movie it was.
Very first one.
Oh yeah, very first one.
I mean, he played one of the badass psychos of 70s action movies and just left such a big impression. And then I don't remember seeing him. I know he played, like, he was in Cobra, the Stallone movie, where he's like the lily-livered bureaucrat who's telling Cobra he shouldn't be such a good policeman. But he chews up the scenery and spits out new scenery on Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, in a really good way. Do you know what I mean? Like
I do.
He's chewing scenery, but he's not disconnected from everybody, from anybody.
It's all manipulation.
He's very much involved with every actor that's in a scene with him.
This is something I didn't know, that Raphael says he played Liberace in a TV movie. Of course he did.
And very, very good too.
I've never seen it.
Very even-handed and fair biography of Liberace.
Oh my God, that's wild.
Oh, wait, I did see that. That was the whole, right? That was when the whole big issue about that was Liberace had died from AIDS, right?
Yeah, it's pretty recent.
And the family, or there was a whole big uproar about they didn't want it to air because they didn't want that news to come out. Am I right, or am I making that up?
No, I think you're right on the nose, Eric. I mean, it was a made for HBO movie.
Yeah,
and there was a fair amount of controversy preceding it, partially from his family. Yes,
but he just a great actor and a truly wonderful human being.
Oh, I've heard nothing but good things.
Just
have you worked with him, Eric?
Phenomenal. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Great.
Really, just great actor, fantastic person. That's sort of what like I'm kind of amazed I didn't get more drawn into Deep Space Nine just because of the cast, just because of who they had. You know,
yeah.
It's never too late, Eric.
Yeah, that's the
thing.
It's always there.
It's always there.
Well, we have some episodes of Love on the Spectrum to get through first, and then.
Oh my God!
But at this point in the second season, a little bit past halfway, we are starting to see these developments in others. I mean, I personally remember appreciating at the time when it was first run a maturing of Dr. Bashir from being the clumsy, awkward, horny teenage doctor type, and starting to get a little bit more fleshed out in this and so forth.
Right.
So that exchange would have been even more impactful if he had been fully developed, but he was getting there.
I have to ask this because I'm going to say some possibly controversial things. There's always this meme now that there's this, like, they're a couple, Dr. Bashir and Garrick, and, that it's like, the old queen and the twink, and, it's this like romantic pursuit. And for me, that's like, okay, but Dr. Bashir isn't gay. Oh no, but it's wild because they're like a couple. Okay, but I mean, this one character might be gay, Garrick. I mean, Andrew Robinson said, oh yeah, he's gay. Like, like, without any hesitation. And he's the actor who plays him, so he gets to make that call. But, Dr. Bashir was straight. I'm sorry, guys. Stop doing that. It makes me mad. Am I the only one? Like, stop, I don't make gay people straight in my headcanon. Could you stop doing it to Dr. Bashir?
Well, listen, I mean, they did it to Sulu in the Abrams, Kelvin timeline movies, and George Takei had a big problem with that. He says, that's not the character.
Yeah.
Isn't that
the KS Society of the 70s and 80s with Kirk and Spock? Listen, these guys are just, not so much at this point in the series, but they're becoming good friends. Call it a bromance, if you will. I mean, come on, the three of us have a bromance. It's fine. We embrace it, and if you want to exist in that fantasy, exist in it as you wish, but come on.
Yeah, Raphael, you're not helping. I don't think the doctor is bisexual.
I don't know, Eric, what's your take on all that, Eric?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it makes, it just makes for a fun undercurrent. You know what I mean? Like, look, only the actors really know what's going on, but
right.
Who am I to deny fan fiction? And
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Bashir and O'Brien had more of a bromance, really.
Well, yeah. I mean, they really they really made room on the show to make Bashir and O'Brien like hardcore friends, which gave both characters something to do. So that's fine.
Oh, and after some after early series antagonism on O'Brien's part, so it was it was a nice evolution of the relationship.
Right. Slash away. God, I can't even remember his name anymore. Harvey. I just want to be loved. Is that so wrong?
Mr. Firestein. Steam.
Harvey Firestein. That's right. Yeah. That's right. Moving on. In this story, there is some complaining by some of the producers because they felt that Quark was too confident and too bold and too noble in this episode. And they thought he should not be so, so much of the hail fellow well met.
What? So love can't expose that side of him? He obviously wasn't comfortable with it.
Yeah. Yeah, he was outside of his comfort zone. That is for sure. Okay, I'm going to read this from Memory Alpha. Ira Stephen Bear, who is a great producer of this show. I have nothing but admiration for Ira Stephen Bear. He dislikes this episode because he feels that Quark comes across as too heroic. Bear felt that there were already enough heroic characters on the show, and that this episode should instead have been a Beauty and the Beast type of story with Quark resembling Woody Allen. Quote, I felt we didn't need another tough, sexy, swashbuckling character on the show. We had enough of those. We needed more offbeat, interesting characters. It should have been Beauty and the Beast or Woody Allen and every woman he's ever been within the films. You don't take Woody Allen and you make him into Bogart. You have Bogart telling Woody Allen how to behave, but he does it through his Woody Allen persona. The scenes with Quark drove me mad. Michael Piller, another executive producer, said, this is the other disappointing episode in the season for me. So with that, Joe Townsell, how do you feel about those producer opinions?
I respect the producers. I have to respectfully disagree. I think it was a great episode for Quark. I don't think it was out of character at all. As I mentioned earlier, I think they threw in a couple little speed bumps to kind of remind us that he is less than honorable sometimes, but right. I think we also have to remember where he came from. I mean, we make the joke, we'll always have Terok Nor. He came from Terok Nor when it was a Cardassian station. He had to survive in that environment. That couldn't have been easy. So as for ego, he's pretty tough.
We find out that he was on that station before Odo was on that station.
Exactly. Yeah.
So he goes back many decades
Mhm.
on Tarak Nora, just as Joe says. I like him being confident in that kind of like Peggy Hill, Bobby Hill from King of the Hill, like that unearned confidence that they have. I like having a dorky little character. Now, granted, not Neelix. Not
No. This could not have been Rick as Neelix.
but Quark, because he does have a dark side. I mean, the reason his romance with this woman broke down was because he was stealing from her, and he's like, "Oops, no! How could you steal from someone you love?" Well, that's just Quark being Quark. That's just Quark quarking. So yeah, I have to say I'm also on that side. I don't think that this is out of place for Quark. I like his misplaced bravado, his misplaced confidence.
Yeah, he certainly wasn't a hero in this.
Yeah, and he wasn't a hero.
He was completely selfish and self-centered right up to the end. Like he's not swinging in on a rope and dueling a bunch of guards and setting her free. He's like, Jesus Christ. He's like, take the kids, leave her.
Exactly.
By the way, I went behind your back and made a deal with the kids. So they get to go, but you're staying here with me.
Right.
Absolutely nothing heroic. What I mean, the only thing even close to that is he obviously is just insanely conflicted.
Yeah.
About what he's feeling.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Even that bit, even that bit where he's like, "Well, what should I do? Tell you that I love her? You can't love." It's still all a play. He's not revealing anything honest about himself. It's all like he uses it. It's a fucking negotiating tool.
And here's the thing. Jumping off that, if one looks at the heroic characters, here's Ira Stephen Bear going, I think what he's saying, and hey, Mr. Bear, feel free to drop us a line anytime and tell us what you're saying. But I think what he's saying is, I wanted him to approach the whole thing from an unconfident way. He's missing out on the fact that this is Quark, stealing, manipulating, lying, not hard lying.
I'll give you my brother. Just let her go.
I love I don't care about the bar. I'll abandon the bar for you. I'll just give it to my brother. He'll run it into the ground in a month. I'll like to see that. so petty and so perfect for a friend.
I don't. There's absolutely nothing heroic about what he did. He just he doesn't want her to be captured or turned in because of what it's going to mean for him.
Right.
Because the motive is definitely selfish,
not what it means for her.
I mean, the only difference here is that it might have resulted, and it did result in something that was a better situation. That's it. But that wasn't what Quark was going for, except for his own need to have Umox with Natima.
I love Raphael bringing up "It's a Work," because in wrestling terms, Ira Stephen Bear is saying Quark is not a babyface. He's not a good guy. He's a heel.
But he's not in this episode. That's the thing. That's the point. That's the point Joe and I are making. He's not.
Yeah.
He's not a babyface in this episode.
Yeah. He's still a heel. He's still doing it for selfish reasons, as Eric says. And I think these producers are having regret because they wish they'd kind of introduced this part of Quark in a different way. And
okay, completely fair, but it's not. Listen, I didn't produce the show. Obviously, do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it feels
Yeah.
stupid of me to comment, but they're kind of wrong.
I'm not sure they were the lead producers on this one. I think
Okay.
Maybe not at
they're-
this point. Yeah.
I think they're throwing other producers under the bus on this one.
But, I mean,
honestly.
there are examples. I don't want to go off on a tangent. I'll keep it brief, but there are a few instances where I really enjoy somebody's work and they have almost disowned it.
Hmm.
2 examples. I think Rocky 5 is much better than Rocky 4. Stallone
Rocky
hates
Five's
5.
pretty good
Oh
movie.
my God. Absolutely.
You know, I loved more American Graffiti, and George Lucas has disowned that. So I guess it's just what's going on in their heads. Like, I wish coulda, shoulda, woulda, but you know.
It's so funny. You meet some creators and they think all their babies are beautiful. And I never discourage that, you know. Of course, you should love everything that you made, everything that you put out there. But you're right, Joe. There are plenty of guys out there like, let's not talk about that one. Let's move on.
Not too bad, because they're not bad in my opinion at all.
Right. Let's jump to our next segment. Who are your MVPs in this episode? There are some obvious choices,
Mhm.
but we've thrown under the shuttlecraft.
That's great, McGear. Yes.
Who are your MVPs? Mr. Kramer, you got MVPs? in this one?
Obviously, Armin and Andrew.
Yeah.
Really super strong. Really just solid work from the both of them. You know, and plus they were given some very interesting stuff to do. Actually, the whole confrontation between the two of them over the dress, really well done.
Yes.
Really well done.
There, that to me was a scene that it was very ambitious for a Star Trek to have so much not saying the thing that we're saying from 2 characters who'd just been treated like, you know, middle guys up to this point.
Mm-hmm.
And a very significant, like, you know, very like crime story kind of a scene. I really dug that. Can I say that Armin Shimerman has appeared in so many other shows that people may or may not recognize? I first saw him in a show called Brooklyn Bridge. Do you remember that?
I do remember the show, not him in it.
He plays a guy who fixes things in the building that the family lives in. And he's very sad because he's a lifelong bachelor and he wishes he wasn't. And it's very, his character is very sweet. I didn't remember this, but did you remember from the Tick live action series, the first one with Patrick Warburton? He played the character the Terror, which is Jackie Earle Haley plays the Terror later in the Amazon Prime version of the Tick. But I had forgotten he did that. I'd also forgotten he played Principal Snyder in 19 episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh wow.
That's right. Yeah. Remember that now. And he's also a character actor that can really elevate a show, even when it's already high up there, by a single guest appearance. And I always go back to his appearance as the caddy on Seinfeld.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He plays the caddy. He was so great. And I do love an episode like this one that will take these character actors and put them right up front, put them into the thick of things. But let's name some MVP. So Eric's already called it for Andrew and for Armin.
Yeah, kind of a no-brainer for me, but
I totally see that. Joe Townsend, who's your MVP or MVPs for this one?
Well, like, you know, I don't blame Eric one bit. I mean, you can't even choose between those two. So it's more of like kind of a love letter to all the standouts. And I'm going to make mine for Mary Crosby as the team.
I absolutely agree. Yeah. I thought she was fantastic in this. Now, granted, greatest actor in this whole episode. Oh no, you've got great actors in there. She's fighting it out with them.
Yeah.
But the way the director set things up, it was so much like a primetime soap opera. It was so much like a Dallas or a Falcon Crest. I mean, there's all those scenes where like she's up here and then he's behind her. And you know, she's delivering his line to him and he's behind her delivering that. That's like classic soap opera directing. I actually was like, is this guy a soap opera guy? And I went back to look. No, he's not. He's an hour-long guy. But I really love how they played up this soapy sort of genre specific kind of staging. Also I kind of have to give it up to the director on this one too, Joe Weimer, I was saying, because he did a lot of like shooting down on the set. He really showed like both stages of the set, both floors. There's a great shot where it's one of those big wheel doors that rolls out of the way when our Cardassian dissidents come in. So maybe, I mean, since you called it for Mary Crosby, who is Bing's only girl child, Bing's only daughter.
Yep.
Which makes her the aunt of Denise Crosby, who played Tasha Yar.
That's true. That was our first slide in the beats, and now we have one less tidbit to get into.
Oh, sorry.
That's
way to go, right. John. Way to go, Captain.
Whoopsie doodle.
Try and blame that on the mouse.
There you go.
We discussed this, and
it matters not where the tidbits come, as long as they come.
McGear agrees about Armin. He says he's the Shimerman. He's the Shimerman. I'm going to give it up to Joe Weimer on this one.
Cool.
This was his last Star Trek, but I think he acquitted himself incredibly well. Created a very interesting episode. I was really delighted to have that. Hey, Raphael is enjoying the tidbits, so let's go to the tidbits.
I guess that's a good segue.
Tidbits, where Joe Townsville helped us out by giving us some little pieces of trivia, little bits of information, things that you may have noticed or may not have noticed in this episode. Commander Joe Townsville, what is your first tidbit this evening?
Well, I don't think we need to spend much more time acknowledging that there's a lot of Casablanca tidbits. I hope in the beats I wasn't too subtle and just dumping in a bunch of quotes.
Wait, what?
I did not have a hard time with the subtlety.
Oh, good. I mean, especially since they're all delivered pretty much through my really bad Quark voice. I'll work on that.
I loved your Quark impression. Oh my gosh. Look, I always thought I did a pretty decent Quark. Please, Constable, I'm just trying to run a business here. Because it's always having to work through those teeth.
Yeah, that's like your sounds. I love it. It sounds a little bit like Paul Lynn. So mine, I don't know what it sounds like.
I gotta tell you, that makeup still holds up.
Yeah, it does.
And
that's a tidbit, actually. I was going to mention
the new screens and all the high def. That makeup still looks really good.
That is a very good point, and there's a ton of it. I'm sorry, Joe. Where were you going?
No. It's a perfect segue to one tidbit I have is that it is really a testament to the quality of the production at the time, because they had to have frequent makeup touches because the orange and the gray kept mixing whenever the two of them would kiss.
I've read that. Every time they kissed, they made this weird color on their lips, and they had to go in and reapply the original makeup again.
But again, what a testament to the actors for us to, I mean, for me at least, forgetting about that. I mean, you're totally into it. It's a sweet love story aspect of this, and didn't think for once, oh, how's their makeup holding up?
This is the other thing too. When actors wear that much makeup and that much stuff glued to their faces, it really works against you. it really harms your performance, and you've got to find ways of getting around, because you can't always just cock an eyebrow or just give a quick facial reaction. There's so much you have to do through all of that stuff. And that is another great reason why Mary Crosby did such a good job, because she never had to be a snake lady before.
No, absolutely not. And it is, again, alluding back to the Crosby connection, it is cool that there are now two Crosbys connected to the Star Trek universe.
That's wild.
Yeah, it is really. And one last Casablanca reference I'll make is that this is actually the second of, to my knowledge, only 2 episodes of Star Trek based on Casablanca. The other one being, of course, to a lesser extent and not nearly as good an episode, we'll always have Paris, TNG season 1.
Right.
Oh, wow.
And that actually played up more of the love triangle of Casablanca.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, we didn't have a ton of that here.
Well,
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, there you go.
Raphael's suggesting Mary Crosby was a Nepo hire. Maybe, I don't know.
Antonice, I need a job.
Crosby was connected to Hogan's Heroes. If there's a joke there, it went right over.
Was Gary Crosby in that show? Maybe.
Chris, you're gonna have to explain that one.
I'm not quite getting that one, but yeah, I mean, and actually, it comes up to another tidbit is that they may have done more with this, but one of the things I came across was that they did have to play down some homages to Casablanca for legal reasons. Oh, because there was a fine line between homage and plagiarism, at some point.
Right.
So they might have looked at the TNG episode and said, you know what, we kind of went there, so let's just leave that part out and concentrate more on this.
Interesting. I have a tidbit.
Please.
It's a little tortured. Hang on. I mean, I'm gonna have to McKeer says, how about Norm Crosby? Oh, if only. The Hogan's Heroes thing. Raphael was like Bing produced and Bing Crosby Productions. I didn't remember that.
Okay, then there's the triad connection.
Okay.
That is really interesting. So this was the first appearance of a character that I find very fascinating. And let's see if I can find her picture. So this character right here. Oh gosh darn it, I lost it. Here, it's here. All right. This character is called Yellow Skinned Alien. She is played by Tammy Rodriguez. And Tammy Rodriguez was a background player for Deep Space Nine. And it was on her that they established that the Dabo girls have under boob.
I loved her too. Yeah.
I am always so wildly conflicted when I see costumes like this. I'm like, oh yeah, what are you doing?
No, John, you got to bring out your Beavis and Butthead mentality at that point.
That alien's got boobs
underneath.
I can feel under those boobs. Any other tidbits that you might have, sir?
I think we covered them primarily through the Casablanca connections and so forth. I did have my own casting thing. It's not fully fleshed out, but I'll just read it pretty much verbatim from IMDb. Heidi Swedberg, who played Recklin, one of the students.
Oh, yeah.
She later appeared in the Star Trek parody Galaxy Quest, making her the only actor to appear in both.
Awesome. Oh, I love that.
Isn't that great? I don't know the characters, probably just in the background somewhere, but of course the Orville would go on to, feature a bunch of Star Trek actors. But this is only crossover, so to speak, between this and Galaxy Quest. So
early in the when that first scene with Dr. Bashir and Garrick, Dr. Bashir is saying, I don't know if you're an outcast or if you're a spy. And Garrick says, or maybe I'm an outcast spy.
Yeah.
To which Dr. Bashir is like, oh, okay, I know that's not the fact. And I remember at the time going, oh, good. They just explained it to us. He's an outcast spy. That turns out to be exactly what he is.
Well, sure. And why was it so unbelievable even then? They used him and tossed him aside. That's the Cardassians for you.
This is also one of the only episodes in which Jake Sisko does not appear.
Oh, that's true.
And Quark's cloaking device actually will be seen again. The prop,
right,
as Neelix's malfunctioning heating coil on Voyager, and then later on Enterprise, it is a piece of Xindi debris.
Served its purpose. And guys, you'll forgive me, I forgot the detail here from Casablanca, but I did note that when Quark hid the cloaking device under the table, that harkened back, of course, to Rick hiding a piece of stuff in the piano, with Sam. So there's all kinds of little touches there if you really dive deep.
Wasn't there an episode? It was so funny that you made that joke in the Beats, Joe, about Captain Sisko, at this point, Commander Sisko, playing the piano. Doesn't he eventually play the piano? Is it only at his father's restaurant? Or does he?
I think that's true. Maybe he did when they brought him much later in Vic Fontaine, the holographic, James Darren.
Oh yeah,
he may have tickled the ivory in that holographic nightclub.
Yeah, that's something I'll have to look up.
Yeah, we'll have to look at it for sure. But I'm with you. I do have a remembrance that maybe Sisko, tickled the ivory at some point.
Well, any last thoughts anybody has on this episode of Deep Space Nine, Profit and Loss, Mr. Kramer?
Nope. I think we... No, I mean, good episode, solid acting. All series should be so lucky.
Yeah. It definitely feels like an episode from a long-running series that had well-established characters, well-established relationships.
Nobody looks like they're walking through it.
Yeah.
Like nobody's phoning it in.
Which one cannot say about season 2 of The Next Generation, let's say.
No, they were still definitely.
What have we got? 3 scenes? All right.
Yes, Captain.
Here, Jonathan.
No response,
lines
sir.
to your forehead, would you? Here we go.
My final thought on this one is that this is going to diverge a bit into another episode, but similar titles, very dissimilar episodes. But of course, we also maybe someday we'll take a look at Profit and Lace from later on in the series. This is a notoriously bad episode of the Ferengis, and I would suggest looking at, if no other reason, to depict John as Quark with the great big fake boobies.
Yeah.
Big Quark dons. But I always thought, don't you guys agree, shouldn't it have been Rom to cross-dress an episode, thereby making him a CD-ROM? What do you think? Now that is bad. I almost didn't even say it. I'm sorry.
That's one of those now kids, a CD-ROM was hey, coming up next week.
Oh my goodness.
Can you believe it? We're already at our 25th episode of Retro Trekkers. Holy cow. Feels like we just started doing this show. And we let CPO Eric Kramer choose which episode we're doing. So it's going to be, of course,
Enemy Within, baby.
From TOS, those old scientists, it is The Enemy Within. And yeah, there is Joe's wearing the that's a great top, but he's holding the Cyclops or the unicorn dog.
Yeah, so he'll be there.
Here we go.
It got a little tough, so I don't want to cover him up too much.
Here.
But I mean, because John's there shirtless, looking sexy, after coming out of the workout. But I just felt like I need to get as many Kirks in as possible,
More Kirks than we should be allowed to have. So that's a week from tonight. Next Tuesday night, it'll be April 22nd. Join us 7 p.m. if you're on the West Coast and 10 p.m. if you're on the East Coast. And we will be recapping and reviewing The Enemy Within. You have been warned, Raphael. You can go watch this one. We'll see. We'll see. Coming up later this week on Thursday on Mr. Weber's Webo Mystery, I will be playing the radio show for you. It's from Suspense. It is called Flesh Peddler, and it stars a young, exciting actor in his late 20s, I believe, DeForest Kelley. Probably the only radio episode he ever did. I have heard he never did another episode of radio. I've heard it.
Peddler.
It's great. It is really a great story. So it is going to be a lot of fun. Of course, coming up on Sunday, which is 420, we will be live commenting to Reefer Madness, the classic.
Yeah, baby.
Did I say I've never seen it? I've actually never seen it. Have you ever seen it, Eric?
Not from beginning to end, just clips.
No, many years ago for me, but I have seen it beginning to end.
So we will be having a little watch party. I hope you join us. And I've already promised, but I will reiterate once again this promise. I will not be getting high for this show because it's not very good when I'm high.
Me thinks he promised too much.
Coward.
Oh, don't you get on my shoulder, you devil. Don't you dare. Chris says he's seen it 100 times.
Name just got changed from Captain to Coward.
It will, as bad as my technical directing is on this show right now, me high, oh Lord, it'll be 20 times worse. So yes, I will be sober. I hope you'll join us. Maybe I'll have an edible and it will slowly kick in. That's kind of seems
Hey, Eric, think of it this way. If Captain John disqualifies himself, we all move up in the rank.
Oh man. That's mirror universe Joe
If I
talking.
could just stop funking with 4 other dudes, that would be great. All you solo cabin assholes up top here.
Chris, thank you. Thank you for making up for my part. I do appreciate that. Raphael, I love that you changed out your
There's young, good-looking DeForest.
Wow. Look at that picture.
good-looking kid, right? That kid was going places. Although I think we've all said it, and it does seem very true to me that he is one of those guys who became 50 years old like the year after he was 19.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. His good looks kind of went to seed pretty quick.
Some people just age quickly, and hey, that's fine because he was great. I'm a big DeForest Kelley fan.
He got better looking as he got older.
He did.
That's a guy that he aged quickly, but he aged really well.
I am always amazed at what great shape he stayed in. And remember in Search for Spock, where he's doing like the neckerchief, and he just looked like he belonged in nightclubs.
Well, I mean, even by then, Leonard Nimoy started putting on a little bit of a paunch, and not DeForest.
Yeah, no, DeForest kept it tight. Who knows why?
Nimoy never lost that face. Like Nimoy, holy crap! Like that guy aged more into Spock than when he was playing Spock back when he first started. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a weird thing to say.
No,
not at all, Eric, because I remember thinking when Motion Picture came out, it says now he looks like Spock.
Yeah.
As far as having a little bit of a wise look to his face.
Yeah. and I love how he looked in The Next Generation.
Yeah.
He looked great. He did, and he was great in all the movies. He was even in the Kelvin movies, and he was amazing.
Yeah.
Big fan. All right, we should wind it up. And where's my outro? Where's my outro? I had it. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Oh, good.
Terrible.
We're going to sing it otherwise.
Gentlemen, everybody in the chat. I think at some point we do have to promote Raphael. I don't know when, and I don't know how. But yeah.
We will
Raphael gets a promotion. Great. Fantastic. I'm all on board.
Thanks, gentlemen. Thanks, everybody. We're out of here.
Recap, review, retro,